Hello everyone, Russ of Aquariumax here with an unboxing from Tarantula Cribs. I have a lot of Tarantula Cribs enclosures, various organisms in them, from jumping spiders, scorpion, isopods, various different things. This one is for my one and only tarantula, which currently is in a Tarantula Cribs enclosure. But it's in a 5-inch cube, and this is an 8-inch cube. And since my tarantula is a dwarf, an 8-inch cube should be sufficient for its forever home. So I couldn't quite fit this out of the box. I had to take it out of the box off screen there, but no worries. I love these boxes, by the way. They look very professional, and there's all the info you need to contact Tarantula Cribs if you want a Tarantula Cribs enclosure. Like that. $5 off next order. I love the care that's put into the packaging. Seems very unlikely that one of these would be damaged in transit the way they're packed. Extraordinarily well done. And I love this if I need to move it again. You know, if I'm traveling with it or something, I can keep this to help protect it. I think that's what I'm going to do. The closed cell foam. Pretty perfect. For that purpose. Look at that. Seen these online, but seeing it in person is something else there. That's really cool. I think this will be a great home for my Brazilian blue dwarf beauty. Now let's get it decorated up. I'm going to turn it. That's going to be the area facing front, because there's decreased ventilation in the front just for better visibility. So I'll make that the front. Oh, it's nice, thick, rigid acrylic. I'm going to start out with some Biodude substrate. This is their Terra Sahara, which is good for desert species like tarantula species I have lives in fairly arid habitats, and this is what I've been using for it so far. The Terra Sahara. It works really well. So I don't see any reason to change it. Works well. Might need a little bit more substrate in there. I am going to set it up. Plenty of webbing space up top because they tend to do that semi-arboreal style of webbing. But we'll see. May need to add a little bit more. I don't want to be any risk of falling and hurting itself. Think about that. Let's look at some of these pieces. I really like this piece a lot. I think it's lovely. Piece of weathered sagebrush that I've sanitized. And in an arid habitat, I shouldn't have any problems with mold or anything like that, especially when it's well cross-ventilated and ventilated as this. I like that. I'm not sure about the placement. All right, here we go. This is the second rehousing I've ever done of a tarantula. The first one was really easy because I bought the tarantula locally, and it came in a deli cup that was about 3.5, 4 ounces, something like that, and it was very easy to do. I didn't have any bolting or anything like that. But this is going to be a little bit different. Bigger tarantula, different enclosures. So I have a catch cup with holes drilled in several angles so that it's easy to manipulate if I need to with the tip of the paintbrush. A couple of different paintbrushes. Got my tongs. I'm doing this in an open area, and I have a bin, of course, that is surrounding both the former and future enclosure, or the current and future enclosure. Got paper towels in the corners. The rationale for that being, if the tarantula were to come out of this enclosure and run around, it would probably end up hiding once it ended up under the paper towel, and then I can use the catch cup. So, without further ado, here we go. I did want to point out here, I moved a couple of things here. I want to strike a balance between there being enough web anchoring points fairly high up, but not too high up so that it doesn't build up against the lid and then I have to disturb the web every time I open the lid. And this is intended to provide kind of a lookout surface. Richard in the Tarantula Collective video on this species mentioned that if you have something that's kind of up and a little bit slanted like this, that they will often perch up there, up above the web, and be very visible. I've noticed that mine perches in places where I can see it a lot, so I'm hoping that will help encourage that behavior to continue. And I've moved this wood just a little bit so it's slightly lower than it was before. So here we go. Get the lid off here. You can't see it probably because it's under the web, but the tarantula is right there under this webbing here. See what we can come up with. There's also a molt right there. Fairly recent one. The most recent molt. See. All right. I don't want to disturb tarantula, but I want to open the area slightly. There we go. Probably can't see a whole lot on the camera yet. Now we're getting a little bit of, I may interpret that as a threat pose, not entirely sure, but I think that's what I'm seeing here. As you may recall from other videos you've seen or the previous video that I made, this species doesn't have urticating hairs. So it's a little bit more likely to demonstrate a threat pose when it feels nervous. So now what I'm going to do is move this over here in the hopes that it's going to be easier to maneuver the tarantula into a new enclosure with a minimum of disturbance. Yeah. We're getting a little bit of defensive posture there. And that is okay. I want to disturb the tarantula as little as possible, of course. But this is sort of a disturbing process. What I may end up doing is removing a lot of the decor, or hopefully I can take a chunk of the web out and take the spider with it and just set it in the new enclosure. That may be the way to go. I'm going to set that down there for the moment. Or maybe I can take some of this decor with me. There are some pieces of cork bark here. I see where just send it down into her hide down there. I keep saying she, but I don't really know that. Just hopeful. But it is a she. Female would be really nice. Because they live so much longer. Okay. I was hoping not to have to remove a lot of decor here, but I may have to do just that. And I have to do so very carefully. I don't want to damage the tarantula, obviously. That would not be cool. So I'm going to have to think about this, how I'm going to do this for just a minute. Okay. I should be able to remove this without causing any problems here. I honestly didn't expect to remove so much decor. But then again, this is, my second rehousing ever, so it's a little bit complicated. I think I'm going to remove the water dish, and then that will enable me to remove this piece of decor without danger to the tarantula. There we go. I don't have to worry about it at all that way. Now I'm hopeful the next step, if I can pick up this piece of decor carefully enough, which I think I can do, and I have the tarantula on the cork bark. That makes it easy. Let the cork bark down carefully. The vibrations I'm making are not making the tarantula very comfortable. I'm going to see if I can ease the tarantula off the cork bark here. There. Much better. That wasn't so bad. Now let's get a little closer look at what's going on. There we go. I had to maneuver things a little bit so that we could get a better view of what was going on here. But Grover has decided to just settle in this little crevice, which is fine. There's a cork bark hide there that Grover can use if needed. You can see a little bit of the water dish there. So I think that went pretty well. Oh, it looks like now Grover's coming out to explore. I was kind of hoping that would happen. A little bit more interesting that way. Well, look at those beautiful colors. They're starting to develop. There'll be more blue as time goes on, but there we go. Get a little bit of exploration here. But I do need to put the lid on before the exploration gets too intense. I like to slide these on gradually so that the sudden snap doesn't cause a problem. There we go. She's settled right near the water dish. I wonder if she's going to take a drink. That would be cool. I've never seen her take a drink. I've provided a water dish for a long time, but never actually seen it happen. Perhaps not. Well, I guess that was a very successful rehousing. Thanks for watching today. I post videos every Friday with live streams once a week as well. Please feel free to share, rate, comment, and if you haven't already, subscribe. And then tap the bell for all notifications so you don't miss my next video.